show my love for you.
Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we talk about all things marriage and, of course, most importantly, family. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in and listening. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you. This is Marriage Mondays. Hi guys, welcome back to Marriage Mondays. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about who you should let in your marriage, who you should let speak over your marriage, talk about your marriage, consult with, all of that good stuff. So if you want to hear our thoughts, then keep on watching. Hey babe.
What up though?
So I have my smoothie because of the hot. You said today is the hottest day of the year.
Yep.
So yeah, I have my cold smoothie here because I get hot. But yeah, who should we let into our marriage? What are your thoughts on that? Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, no, you definitely go first.
Obviously in the beginning, you obviously want to talk to your family, your friends, maybe even a stranger, which a lot of people say they feel more comfortable with talking to strangers because they are biased. But there's just so many just bad things with all of those. Because in our situation, I could just speak for our situation and others that have told me things that basically they tried the outside scenario with the therapist who didn't know them, and they were just like, of course, biased like on one spouse's side, and kind of it was an attack more than anything. Like, oh, why are your views like that? Why do you value that? Things like that. Mm-hmm. So that didn't work out. And then of course with us, I would run back and tell my mom everything. I would run back and tell my family everything. And that old saying of, you could tell your family what's bad going on and then y'all can make up. And then here we go. Come barbecue or get together, everybody's mad at your partner. But y'all are good. So let's turn that down because I still gotta hear it. So yeah, and then of course I went to people that I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear what I wanted to hear, and I knew they were gonna tell me what I want to hear, and like that's just not good either. So like I would go and tell my mom and family, and they would be in their righteous girl power instead of getting sound advice and wisdom of, you let the man lead, you let him do this, express your feelings, don't yell, don't do, what I'm saying? Just good advice, because they didn't know on their own. And then there were situations where I went to my friends and family and asked them serious stuff and they didn't have an answer. So that's bad too, on both fronts. You can have a situation where you go to this person because you want to hear what you want to hear because you're into foolishness, but you can also go to the person and they have no idea what to tell you. So it can go like both ways. But yeah, in our marriage, I definitely went to my family about a lot of things, and it just was not a good situation at all.
I say so. The way I look at it, as far as when you were seeking out help, if you will, in any situation, but like in a situation like marriage, So when you seeking out help, I say you more than likely, it's two ways you can go. It's kind of what you're looking for. Are you looking for somebody to support you, or are you looking for somebody to tell you the truth? And that could be the same, but that could be different. Because if you wrong, you're wrong. That's what it is. If you're doing something to your partner that's not aligned with what y'all agreed upon, or what y'all once agreed upon, or whatever it may be, that would be qualified as wrong to a certain extent, at least in y'all's relationship. But you may go to whoever, whether it's your family, to your point, rather even if it's a therapist, but you know that therapist's values, and although that therapist is supposed to be neutral and all of that, but technically they're not neutral because it depends on what type of So
Situation.
it's like if you and you, and like for an example, if you having an issue with your partner and it's based on beliefs, say religious beliefs or whatever, and for whatever reason, you or your partner is kind of drawn off, whatever, and y'all having these disagreements, but then you go to a Christian therapist. Obviously, the Christian therapist is going to have Christian views. So your partner is over here talking about things that are whatever, for whatever reason, not Christian views. When y'all had initially agreed on Christian views or whatever,
Yeah.
then the therapist is going to be biased. So
Yeah.
clearly, that's not an unbiased situation. They're therapists, but they're Christian therapists, whatever. So I think a lot of time people seek help to support their case. So they're gonna go to family members that they know more than likely gonna support them. And then when somebody decides to combat what they're saying, then they probably kind of draw away from that person. So, so you have to really ask yourself, well, am I looking for support, or am I looking for the truth? Am I looking for somebody who's gonna tell me the truth and really try to help me work this out with my partner, or whatever it is, or even if it's at a point where you feel like it ain't no working out, or they went too far, or whatever it is, then I mean that's something that you have to deal with, and you gotta still gotta work through with them. But yeah, to answer the question of who should who should you reach out to, who should you let into your marriage, the only one true answer is God. Your religious, your spiritual beliefs, because again, I mean, as far as my feeling on it, I think, at this point, that's definitely something that I feel like is real important for your relationship from the beginning. And again, like I said a million times at this point, your beliefs, your belief system, your spiritual beliefs, your values, whatever you want to call it, is what makes you up, and typically probably what made up your relationship, why you even decided to get married to this person. And if for whatever reason this person is kind of, drawn away, or y'all drawn apart on certain beliefs or whatever, you gotta take that to, your higher power, whoever that is, and you know, so you gotta pray about it.
Yes.
You have to, you have to pray separately, but then you do have to pray together. There's gonna be time if 9 times out of 10, if you're having a conflict with somebody, there's something about yourself that you have to fix first. And people be like, well, yeah, that sounds like you blaming yourself. Not necessarily blaming yourself, but even if you in a bad situation or whatever, you really kind of got to look at yourself and say, well, this is this who I'm attracting? Is this a flaw on me? Because, and if it's not, okay, fine. But let's just talk about that first. Let's just not try to make it sound like, oh, well, your spouse is just the worst person in the world, and then you want to go and find, 100 people that's going to agree with you to say your spouse is the worst person in the world. Because the question is, okay, what led to this point where, especially if it's going to happen multiple times, what led to this point where you keep being in these situations where you have a spouse or a person, a mate that can't communicate well, or that's disrespectful, or God forbid, abusive, or whatever it is. Like,
So you need to consult with yourself.
That's I was just about to say. So the second thing, after you take it to God, you going and I mean, God may straight up tell you this is something that you not have to talk. You got to figure this out for yourself. You got things to fix for yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
So in my opinion, if I'm gonna put them in some sort of order on, like, probably what's the best three people or three people to talk to or whatever else. God number one, two yourself, and then three probably a true third party who can be unbiased, a counselor, a therapist, or even a spiritual advisor, whoever, pastor, whoever, if they can truly be unbiased in the situation that y'all might be having, then okay. But like I said, that's tough sometimes. But one person is not gonna be unbiased. It's God. It is what it is. It's just right or wrong. It ain't in the middle. And then you got to figure things out for yourself.
Yeah, because this one girl, I put on like a clip on TikTok, and I said, you are getting advice from people who you think is the best Christian I know and all of this, and all the while they're probably giving you not so good advice because they don't know your life. Like, yeah, they can be good Christians, but they may not know your life. So she was like, well, what if God told me? First of all, we should stop right there. Because I'm not higher than God. So why are you on my comments? But anyway, she was like, well, what if God told me that I need to consult with this person, or I need to talk to this person about this and that? I was like, then do what he said. That's the number one place you need to go to. So yes, not all bad people are bad. Like, we're in this world and there are avenues and people who genuinely help us, but you need to go to God first to say, okay, God, who should I talk to about this? And instead of going to people that you trust and people that is your go-to from the beginning, because that may not be the person that you need to go to.
And you know what? I think that sometimes, see, you just made a good point. I think, and this is a little bit off topic, so I don't want to go too far, but I think how we pray sometimes, we try to lead God into something. It's like, number one, first off, who said you need to talk to anybody? So the fact that you even asking God, who do I need to talk to? Who said you need to talk to anybody? All you might need to talk to is God. So if you ask, and that's where people get so clouded in, well, what's God and what's this and what's the devil, what's my own thoughts? Because you want to lead God into what you want.
Dude, it's that control, because like I'm struggling with it now. I didn't even realize I had a control problem with my life, my future, my destiny. I didn't realize I had a problem with controlling my life until God told me, you need to give up full control. You need to let me handle it. And then I realized, oh, I have a control problem.
I mean, it's kind of human nature for us to want to know,
control our lives,
what's going on in our lives, like what's next. It's human nature for that. It is, nobody don't want to just kind of, fly by the seat of their pants, so to speak. If I don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't know how I'm going to, who I'm going to meet today, who I'm going to come in contact with. We want to know all these things, and sometimes it's okay. Sometimes we got a perfectly planned day, and things go perfectly planned. Very rare, but it's possible.
Rare.
It's very rare, very very rare. But it does happen sometimes. Everything that you plan pretty much goes the way it's supposed to go, and the day ends and it's fine. And then sometimes you have these little, you know, peaks and valleys and stuff kind of shift a little around, but it still pretty much goes the way you plan. And then sometimes the day goes completely left.
Yeah.
And now you just gotta adapt and move that way. And for the most part, that's life. Life is always gonna go left
Yeah.
from where you thought it was gonna go, like, and it may take a few weeks, it may take a few days, it may take a few months, it may even take a few years for you to see that how things have shifted or whatever. But that's just the way things go. Getting back, to marriage, it's the same thing that's just gonna happen in your marriage. Your relationship is sometimes it's gonna go left, sometimes it's gonna go real left, and sometimes it might just shift just a little bit.
And that advice could change and shift the entire outcome.
Exactly. And so,
So must be careful.
if you thinking that you at a point where your relationship is just like far left, and it's really not all that far left, but the way you pulling the fire alarm like it's far left, and it's really not, like you just gotta kind of be able to communicate through things. And like I said, you might not even really need to talk to nobody about that. If you pray about it, and God lays it on your heart to how to communicate with your partner, what's going on, why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and how their feeling makes you feel. Communicate that and that's probably one of the toughest things to do in a relationship, is really communicating how your partner feels and what your partner is doing, to really truly communicate how that affects you. And because it always sounds kind of like attacking, and it's not necessarily attacking. It's just, listen, like, bro, sister, whatever you would like, what you're doing, I'm not vibing with, because and how you communicate that is very important. The way you communicate it, how you communicate it, when you communicate it, it's and those are the things that sometimes a therapist or somebody, a mediator, can help with. An unbiased person can help with. It's the communication part of it. Is not trying to communicate these things when you're in an argument. Biggest mistake. Like, and this crazy part is, you have people who want to be on your side or whatever. They gonna tell you, well, next time he start doing this and that, you need to tell him da 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 da. No, this not wait till the next time. Let's just talk about it in the middle of a day. In the
Because that's
middle,
how stuff builds up. Like, I know a lot of people be like, it just all came to a head because I let stuff get to where, and it's like,
yeah, like,
well, I mean, sometimes you want to be mature, you want to brush stuff off and be like, you know what, that wasn't that serious.
yeah.
And it was small. We already got a lot going on. Let me just, take the L and brush it off. But sometimes you do have to talk about it. But I forgot what I was going to say when you had said something. Well, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say two things. Number one, a lot of people are lacking compassion, and it's this big thing with Christians now of that how do we show love and compassion, and then what is the, and then and then judging. So a lot of people, like, if we say something that they don't like, then it's, oh, you judging me. But then it's like, well, I'm trying to like tell you right from wrong, but and then how do I show that love and that compassion, and while I'm telling you, because like you said, yeah, it's sometimes how you say things too. So we have to define what showing love and compassion is in the midst of telling someone that they're wrong. And then of course the second thing is, yeah, when you with your family, like, you need to be on my side. Like, that's just that's just how we are. It's just like, no, you need to be on my side whether I'm wrong or not. And if you tell me I'm wrong, I'm definitely gonna get offended. And that's what John Bevere talks about in the Beta Satan, is how the devil uses offense. And he uses that thing, and boy, is it a good thing to use, because yeah, if we get offended or offensive, like, I'm finna cut you off. You finna tell me something that hurt my feelings or that ain't with my values, then we'll start saying, oh, I thought you were my friend, or I thought you were my, like, what? Like, I don't have to be on your side each and every time. I'm gonna stick beside you. I'm gonna support you. I'm not gonna stop being your friend, but I'm gonna let you know, like, oh no, you were wrong in the area. And I didn't really have that advice around me, because all the people that I were around, like all the women that I was around and I told, they were strong single women. They didn't really have the example of what you should do when it comes to a man in this situation, or they didn't really know, like, oh, well, you should let him lead and let him do this and let him do that. It was just more of girl power and women power, and you can do this on your own. And and that's just not, you know what I'm saying? Like, a wife really shouldn't be getting advice from single, strong-willed women who just don't like most men.
Yeah.
Not saying that they hated all men, but just don't like most. You know what I'm saying? So I think some women need to look out and watch out for that as well. And I don't think necessarily you need to take advice from another wife necessarily. I don't agree with that, because like I said, the Lord has no respect to person. So if you're a married woman and a single woman is talking to you about it, if that's who God say you need to talk to, then that's who God say you need to talk to at the end of the day. But yeah, we definitely should check who is in our lives, who is in our surroundings, who are our friends, who are our family members, who we can and cannot talk to, because you can't talk to everybody. You cannot talk to everybody.
I mean, to that point about, feeling offended and stuff like that, and when somebody's trying to talk to you about something that's going on, like I said, we talking about marriage conflict or whatever. At the end of the day, that dynamic between judging and showing compassion and all of that, at the end of the day, something I like to always try to remind myself, and again, I ain't perfect, and nobody is, because we have all moments, but at the end of the day, I can't judge anything that God has already judged. If God has already made it very clear that this is wrong, then it's wrong. It's not me judging you. It's me letting you know that God has said that this is wrong. Now, what a lot of people like to do, well, who are you to tell me?
You know what I'm saying? They take it straight to, well,
So,
you're judging me.
Listen,
You're being
listen.
judgmental.
I'm not judging you. I am letting you know that God has already judged what is wrong. He has already decided.
Already said
So
what I'm
just
saying.
like it's just like I say all the time. It seems like it's so dang hard for us to figure out, God's law as opposed to man's law. We know that man's law says they put these speed limits up on the roads. If you go past this speed limit, that you're breaking the law. Ain't no question about it. If you in a 45 and you doing 60, and they can prove that you was doing 60, or you was doing 60, then you broke the law. And we don't care why you was doing it. The cop may show you grace, and you may be able to talk to him, and then he might give you a warning. God does the same thing. But at the end of the day, what you was doing was wrong. It was against the law. That's it. It ain't no in between about it. So the fact that the cop came to you and said, "Hey, you breaking the law," he ain't judging you. He letting you know this was the law. You broke it. I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know that the law was already made. It's known, and you was breaking it. It's the same thing that we do all the time. So if you're in a relationship and you're being disrespectful to your partner or whatever, you treating them, not well, not good, whatever, talking to them in a kind of way, whatever you doing, we already know that's wrong. You can't do that. You can't do that to nobody. Nonetheless, do that to your spouse. You don't need nobody to tell you that's wrong. You know that's wrong. But you want to feel justified in it. I don't want to. I know what God said, but ain't no but. It ain't truly enough, and I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about everybody. It ain't no but. If to your point, like what you said about old girl, when God said, if God said, ain't no but. It ain't. It ain't no but in between it. It is, you take your butt somewhere else because it ain't no but.
Like, there's just so many. Like you said, we try to lead God into where we want to go. Like, we make what we want God to say. And sometimes people be like, "Oh, well, God said."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that was not God.
If you unequivocally know and believe that this is what God said, and for the most part, as Christians, we believe that what's in the Bible is what God said. The things that are known to be law or whatever, that is what God said.
Well, people don't read the Bible, so
that's the thing. So that goes to the other thing. So
like everyone says on almost every single Christian podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat it too. We will never know if no one picks up the Bible and reads the Bible.
That's very true. So that's the question.
That's how you get confused and conflicted.
So that's the other question to that point is is what is being questioned about whatever, even if it's in your relationship, whatever, if what's being said is being questioned, is addressed in your belief system and what you're supposed to believe, or if you believe it or not, or whatever, then again, this is not a situation where anybody can judge you because it's already been judged. That part. Yeah, so again, if your spouse is worshiping another God, then the God that you serve, or the God that y'all have agreed to serve, or whatever it is, and he don't believe in the Holy Trinity anymore, or whatever it is, then that has already been judged. Now, how you communicate that to your partner and how you work through it, that's the important part. Letting them know that that's wrong, that you shouldn't be doing that, and that we can't do that. That's not a judging situation. That's a I'm informing you situation. This is an informative session. I'm not judging you. I'm letting you know that can't fly, because this is what God said. Because what God said, that's it.
some people think they are doing all that they can, and it's not enough for some people. But definitely go to God and ask him to guide you, and the Holy Spirit to guide you, and he would definitely help you in identifying, oh well, this is why they feel this way, this is why they don't feel love. So I think you should definitely just go to God and take it to God. But yeah, this was a good discussion. But yeah, what do you think is the genuine consistency of who should you let speak over your marriage and get advice from?
So yeah, number one is definitely God. That's definitely number one. So, and like I said, if I had to put it in order, I would say, really is God, yourself, truly third party bias, and then lastly, an honorable mention is your partner.
Alrighty. So in honor of the gymnasts and the Olympics and all that is coming up, this is the black fact of the day that I have, because I'm super excited about the gymnastics. Is Sid Oglesby was the first black gymnast to win the NCAA champion, and he won it. What you think he won it with? It's a man.
Probably them, I don't know what you call it. Them rings.
Really? Because that's all the men do, huh? No, he won it with the vault.
Oh.
Yeah, ain't that cool? But he's a 2-time All-American NC, so he won 2. 3-time ECAC champion and 3-time letter winner. He was the first African-American gymnast to earn an All-American honors and to be an NCAA champion, which he accomplished in 1968. Ooh, child. That was deep in the civil rights movement. Oh my God. But Oglesby, along with 17 other African-American student athletes at SU, as a group, publicly supported a university senate proposal backed by the facility senate and equality committee to ban further scholarship. I've never seen this word in my life. Competition with segregated schools in 1964. Wow, I think that's really, really cool, because I just wanted to know. I was like, what black fact can I do? And I'm just in honor of the gyms and the NCAAs and Team America and Simone Biles and all of them are killing it right now, and I cannot wait for it. I thought it was supposed to come out on the 15th, but no, we gotta wait again. Wait, I gotta wait some more. That's fine. Well, alrighty, guys. This has been another episode of Marriage Mondays. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment down below. And thank you guys on Spotify for listening, whoever's our listeners. But yeah, we thank y'all. We love y'all. And just go to God, and he will definitely guide you. And if you think he won't, or if you think you're going the wrong way, you're probably going the right way. So just as long as you seek ye first the kingdom, and seek, and you shall find the answer, for sure. So, all right, guys, bye.